I got a little project to do in the shop today. Not exactly a woodworking project, but I am going to use wood to accomplish the task. So I'll show you that, and then also I'm going to show you some security cam footage because we had a prowler, and a pretty serious one at that. So here we go. I found some scraps of wood I had out in the lean-to that I can use for this little mission, and this is treated wood that I had left over from some previous outdoor project, probably the lean-to or the deck. This main board is a 2x6 and is the perfect length already, and I'm going to space these other two boards, 2x4s, the distance apart I need them to be, and centered front to back, and centered or equal distance from the ends on the main board. Then mark their locations. After drilling holes for screws from the mark side, I attach them using 2.5-inch construction screws through the bottom. I put the first screw in each one from the bottom because it's easier to just hold the uprights in place and get one screw in each one to hold them there. Then I can tip it over and put the rest of them in. I ran out of battery on the old Black & Decker, so after drilling a couple more pilot holes, I grabbed the DeWalt because it was on the workbench and my other Black & Decker batteries were in the house. And since this thing is going to be holding some substantial weight, I cut a couple 45-degree braces to support the uprights. And all you safety-conscious viewers out there will appreciate that I got this all lined up and then used my $10 million stick to hold it while I made the cut. And yes, if you're not familiar, that's its actual name. I'll put a link to it in the description if you want to get one. It's a finger saver. Same deal to attach those. I first secured them in place with a screw through the top of the brace and then drilled pilot holes through the bottom and through the uprights to make them nice and sturdy. That didn't pull quite square, so after backing the screws out and retightening, it's good to go. I always keep a supply of these 2.5-inch construction screws on hand. They're the perfect thing for joining 2x lumber together, so I usually buy them by the 10-pound box. Now you get to see what this thing is for. I'm attaching it to an existing pallet to use it as a support. I get it where I think I want it. Then do another check. Reposition it just a little. Once it's in position, I just attach it to the main beams of the pallet with the same 2.5-inch construction screws. Several on each side. And here's what this contraption is supporting. This is the engine that came out of my son's project on the other channel that you may or may not have seen us remove. He's not going to use it in that truck. He's going to use something a little bigger, let's say. So this one is going to get stored on this pallet for a while until we find another use for it. I do have something in mind, but it's just a concept in my brain right now. But whatever I do, it'll be on YouTube. So anyway, you can see why I wanted the uprights a certain distance apart. They go right into the motor mounts of this small block Chevy. We could just let this engine sit on the oil pan on the pallet, but I like this method because it makes it more secure for when we're moving it around. And I'm sure a lot of car guys would immediately think of fabbing up some brackets for this out of steel, but it's much easier and faster to just use wood. And I made this out of some short pieces I had laying around. And it's treated lumber, so not anything I would use for woodworking or anything. I'll put a couple screws or a bolt through the motor mounts to secure it that way also, but for now it's on there. Before I take it out though, we did a little 3D scanning of the back of the engine, just in case we might need the bolt pattern in CAD for anything. Doesn't take long, and once you have it for any future reference. Absolutely cool technology that was financially out of reach for the average home shop, but has gotten more affordable in the last couple of years. Still not cheap though. So the scanning's all done on this thing, at least for now. So now I can take it out back to the lean-to and store it securely on this pallet. Well supported. Now we get to the unwelcome intruder portion of this video. This isn't very clear because it's just from a security camera, but you can see it. That is a bear. A black bear to be exact. I'm pretty surprised they would come up this close to the buildings like that, but I guess they're pretty inquisitive, especially when they're looking for food. And what she is near there is my trash storage box. And I know it's a she because she has cubs with her, and you'll see them in a second. I've got a heavy steel storage box that we put the trash bags in before we take them to the dump, and that's what she's sniffing around. I specifically used a heavy steel box, just in case of bears. And right there you can see one of the cubs climb up onto the trailer. He checks it out a little and then jumps back down. She's sniffing all around with that sensitive nose they have. Then you can see one getting on the trailer again and the other one on the ground. That runs away because Mama's about to pull that heavy steel box over, while the other cub just meanders his way to the back of the trailer. Then you can see her turn the box sideways a little, trying to get into it. This is in the morning, and we were sitting in the living room and heard the noise of the box hitting the ground, but we didn't know then what it was or exactly where it came from. I went to the back and started looking out the windows, and my son went to the front, and then went out to investigate. About the time he was getting to the end of the porch, she heard him and stood up on her back legs, and for a second, there they were, face to face. Luckily, she turned tail and ran away. And by the time I got out there, she and the cubs were long gone into the woods. Here's the result of our bear attack. Flip this thing over like it was nothing.
This thing is not light either.
That thing is heavy. It's all steel. And flipped it right over.
That's the noise
And the little ones were playing on the trailer.
That's the noise we heard.
Yeah.
Which prompted us to come out.
Yeah. Was that thing hitting the ground? Wow. So I'll probably be a little more alert when I go outside now. Thanks for watching. See you next time.